for whipping close in your high-tech burning tire. Judas.
Danielle? Yeah.
Our fellow New Yorker, Donald Trump, that we are here united in standing up for each other during his time in his office, that we are here united in protecting our family, friends.
Living legend, Mr. Bob De Niro.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here tonight with all of you and all of my overrated friends. Before I introduce our special guest, I want to read a few tweets to you. I know you haven't heard them because they won't be sent until later, in the middle of the night. First, De Niro's career is a disaster. He was passed over for Godfather 4 and Magnificent 7. Pathetic. Another tweet. De Niro should give back his Oscars. Voting was rigged. There's only one true raging bull, and that is Vladimir Putin. One more. An extremely credible source told me that Noble uses raw fish in their sushi, and the portions are so small. Sad. That one really hurt. Just like our founding fathers, you can love our country and not love everything about it. That's understandable. You can love your city, as I do, and not love everything about it either. That may have been what I was thinking about when I said I wish you know who would lead this city. I don't care where he goes. I just never thought he'd go to Washington. He's a bad example of this country, this city. The president-elect said our country was a dumping ground for the world. Really? These huddled masses yearning to breathe free built our country and our lifeblood of our strong, diverse, beautiful New York City. They gave us the strength to prosper in the mid-70s when the government sent us the message to drop dead. They gave us the strength to recover after the tragedy of 9/11. Now they're giving us the strength to persevere in the face of the promises of the incoming government. We're all rooting for the new administration, of course, to abandon the divisive, racist, misogynist, ignorant plans it's trumpeting and lead us with intelligence and compassion. Whatever happens, we Americans, we New Yorkers, we patriots will stand united for our rights and the rights of our fellow citizens. Now it's my honor to introduce you to a leader of that campaign, our Mayor, Bill de Blasio.
My friends, let's salute one of the greatest New Yorkers, Robert De Niro. We gathered together thousands strong tonight, the last night of a great administration. Let's all thank Barack Obama for Tomorrow, there will be a peaceful transfer of power. Tomorrow, Donald Trump will have power, but our destiny as Americans. And tonight is an example of people coming together to make clear what we believe is the future of our country and how we will fight for it. Remember, the country doesn't reside in Washington, D.C. It's every city, it's every town in America where change is made. And we are resolute that we will keep making our cities and our towns better, regardless. And we believe in protecting our precious earth from the scourge of climate change. And we can do something about it in every city and town in America while we fight the fights in Washington, D.C. Right now, here in New York and all over the country, people are getting together to sign up their fellow Americans for health care under the Affordable Care Act because it is still the law of the land in this country. And you can help to get more and more people insured, to help protect their families, and to make it harder to ever take away the right to health care in this country. Here in New York City, join our Get Covered NYC campaign to make sure that more and more New Yorkers have the health care they deserve. Join our efforts to sign up New Yorkers for ID NYC, regardless of who you are, where you come from. You're a New Yorker, and we honor and respect you. And we stand together in making sure there is no discrimination, there is no hatred in our city or any city. If you see an act of hatred, if you see a bias crime, report it immediately. Stand up against hatred. Today, we recognize that we are building something. You know, Donald Trump always liked to say he built a movement. Well, now it's time for us to build our movement. And that starts tonight, and it's all over the country. Tonight, tomorrow, in the days to come, a movement building to protect all the gains we've made and protect the rights of our people. My friends, mayors are gathering from all over the country in a common cause. They've signed a pledge to defend the progress we've made, to make sure our cities and towns represent the best of America, from one part of this nation to the other, from the Liberty Bell to the Gateway Arch, from the Great Salt Lake to the banks of the Rio Grande River. Mayors all over the country are signing this pledge for common action, that the next 100 days will be days of action together. We are standing up for our towns because our cities and our towns are the authentic America, are the open and compassionate America, are the hopeful America. Some people think we're going to be dejected. Some people think we're going to be in a state of mourning. We're just going to shirk away from playing any role in our nation. Well, no. Tomorrow we begin to organize. Tomorrow we gather together. Look at the thousands here tonight, and this is only a beginning. We don't fear the future. We think the future is bright if the people's voices are heard. So my friends, we're going to fight together. We are going to fight together. From Seattle to Santa Fe, from Boston to Birmingham, Alabama, people are joining together right now for a country that respects all its people, values all its people, provides opportunities for all, protects the health care of all, protects the environment for all. That is what we are fighting for. And tomorrow, my friends, tomorrow is not an end. Tomorrow is a beginning. Get ready to build the nation we always believed in together. And now I get the great pleasure of introducing a dynamic, progressive leader from the heartland of our nation, the mayor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, Betsy Hodges.
Oh, New York, you look great. You look just like American. And together, tomorrow, at this time, Donald Trump will be the President of the United States. Despite his attempts to vilify so many of our beloved communities, our Muslim brothers and sisters, our Latino brothers and sisters, women, people with disabilities, our LGBTQ community, the media who can't hold him accountable. Despite that, he will be the President of the United States tomorrow. But what else do we know? What else do we know? That he's gonna have to get through me. He's gonna have to go through Bill de Blasio. He's gonna have to get through all the mayors in all the cities across this country if he wants to get to our beloved communities. When he comes for our artists, who are going to be more important now than ever with their voices of dissent, he's going to have to get through me. He's going to have to get through us. When he comes for women, when he comes for GLBTQ people, when he comes for our activists, he's going to have to get through me. And he's going to have to get through all of us, right? When he comes for New Americans, when he comes to do his registry for Muslims, and I know that it's true for you. So thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for standing with me and people across this country as we face the next 4 years together stronger. Thank you. And here it is my incredible honor to introduce a fellow Midwesterner, just a little bit, really near Minnesota, also starts with an MI, Michigan. Y'all, Michael Moore is here.
Thank you, Mayor Hodges. Thank you, Minnesota. Thank you for giving us Al Franken, the Coen brothers, Garrison Keillor, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Okay, enough about Minnesota. New York! Thank you for giving us Donald J. Trump! Now, first the bad news. I know. As bad as we think it's going to be, it's going to be worse. That's the truth, my friends. I'm sorry to have to begin on such a depressing note, but here is the good news. The good news is there's more of us than there are of them. She not only won by 3 million more votes, there's another 7 million who voted Green or Libertarian. They also didn't want Donald J. Trump. That's more than 10 million voters that said no to Donald J. Trump. What Mr. De Niro said about this great city and how sad it is that this man represents not just the city now, but the country. He does not rule with a mandate. No! There is no mandate. No! Keep this in mind in your moments of despair. You are not alone. We are the majority. We are the majority. Don't give up. I won't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. No. 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 See you. We'll appreciate that. Wow, this is an incredible crowd here. You can't see, but they're still trying to get in from Columbus Circle. It's packed back there. They're pushing over to Broadway to go all the way down to come in from the back. It's incredible that everybody turned out here tonight. This is the beginning of our 100 days of resistance. 100 days of resistance. And that's just the first 100 days, but I like to think positively across the world. Welcome, all of you, to New York City. I want you to get out your devices, whatever you're carrying. If you're at home, go to 100daysofresistance.org. And there you can sign up, and we are going to have missions and different things we're going to be doing here in these first 3 months. There's lots of groups, lots of people involved, whether you're a group or an individual. Everybody has to commit to doing something every single day now. Every single day. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to drop out of school. It's just something very small you have to do. Every day, you have to contact your member of Congress or one of your 2 senators. Every day. It takes 3 minutes. Wake up, brush teeth, make coffee, contact Congress. That's the new morning routine. The phone number is 202-225-3121. You call that number any time of the day or night. A human being answers it. There's an actual 24/7 switchboard. Call that number. If you don't know who your congressperson is, that's okay. Just give them your zip code. Everybody knows their zip code. Give them your zip code and they'll go, oh, well, your member of Congress is Jerome Nadler. May I put you through? And they'll put you right through. In fact, you can say, no, I'd like his private line. Can I have a direct number? They will give you the direct number. Each of you have 1 representative and 2 senators. They only work 3 days of the week, Tuesday to Thursday. If you can't do it all 5 days, on those 3 days, call your rep one day, call your senator the next day, and call your other senator the next day. And every day we'll be posting what we need to be pushing for. We need to stop Rick Perry. We need to stop Betsy DeVos right now. I know her from Michigan. She's helped to destroy our public schools. Who here promises to call Congress every day or at least 3 days a week? Who's going to do it? What's the number again? 202-225-3121. You're paying for the phone. You might as well use it. What the mayor said, what the mayor of Minneapolis said, what Robert De Niro said, it's all so important. This is not a night of rhetoric. We're not up here spouting cliches tonight. We're saying this is a time for action, and we will put ourselves on the line for that. When the immigration authorities come to take people from New York away, the mayor has said that's not going to be a cooperative venture. So if they decide to send the feds in anyways, we have to do something about it. I'm sorry to have to put this out there, but it's not just going to be about coming to demonstrations like this. We're going to have to put ourselves on the line. I'm sorry to say this. We're in a very dangerous moment in history where a malignant narcissist and a sociopath is in the Oval Office. This is a very dangerous moment. So when they come to New York to take our Mexican neighbors out of here, who's willing to stand in front of the George Washington Bridge and say, not unless you go through me? Who's willing to do that? Peacefully and non-violently. put up a Muslim registry where Muslim Americans, keyword Americans, registry. Who will join me? Who will join me? Will you sign up? Who will sign your name? Let's all sign our name. We're all Muslim. We're all Mexican. We're all women. We're all Americans. Yes, and we are all gay. And lesbian. And bisexual and transgender, and goddammit, we are all queer too. We're gonna win, folks. A little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort. A lot of work on our part will stop this man. He will not last the 4 years. It's a dangerous combination, a narcissist and a public official. Because it all is about what's in it for me. Me. And when they think like that, that's when they break the law. And that's when he'll go down. I have one other idea. I have one final idea. Some reporter was just asking me, well, what's the point of all this? Because no matter how much bad news he creates or there is about him, doesn't seem to affect him. I said, right, yes, that's right. He's not affected by the bad news when he talks about his sexually assaulting women. He's not affected by the bad news that comes out of him calling Mexicans rapists and murderers. That's right. He's not affected by that. What's he affected by? He's affected by comedy. He has the thinnest skin of any bully I've ever met. If you make fun of him, if you ridicule him, or if you just show that he's not popular. I remember the night after the election, on the 9th of November, a bunch of us just randomly got in the street and marched to Trump Tower. Anybody there that night? There weren't a lot of us, but it was a few hundred people. And he's up there in his tower, in his penthouse, tweeting, demonstrators outside my home. Unfair! Why are they protesting me? Wrong! I'm telling you, my friends, this is how he'll implode. It's his Achilles heel. And we don't need to just depend on the comedians to do this for us. Everybody here has a sense of humor. Use it! Use it! Participate in the ridicule and the satire for the emperor who has no clothes. Do this for me. Let's form an army of comedy. And we will bring him down. And my friends, is there anyone better at doing what I just asked us all to do than our general, the general of the army of comedy, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alec Baldwin! Michael Moore, everybody, Michael Moore! First, I want to find out the Comedy Army. Where do I sign up for the Comedy Army? And tonight, I want to we should take a moment to thank all of the people from the New York City Police Department.
I've been standing out here in the freezing cold for a long time. I have to go to the bathroom, I have to pee. But I'm holding it in, I'm not gonna pee. I'm going to a function at the Russian consulate tonight. I'm going to hold it until I get there. And then when I get to the Russian consulate, I'm going to have a really, really long beard. Like the biggest beard I've ever had in my life.
I want to say three things really quickly because we've got a lot of people that want to come up and say hi and say some things. Number one, Donald Trump and Steve Bannon and Mike Pence and all these people that are part of the Trump administration, they think that you are going to lay down. Are you going to lay down? Friends, anybody you know that needs that kind of help, they go to idnyc.gov. idnyc.gov. Remember that. Just like Michael Moore said, what's that number? 202-225-3121. Thank you. It's Michael Moore's agent over here, his publicist. But spread that around. idnyc.gov. I'm listening to National Public Radio, and the guy gets arrested for a crime. They don't know whether he committed it or not, and immigration's waiting outside the courthouse, and they arrest him. He's in jail, detained for a year. He's here working, he's illegal. He's here working in some kitchen in Manhattan, and he's got kids at home, and he's got a wife at home, and he's been detained for a year now. We've got to provide this IDNYC thing to as many people as we can. We've got to spread that around idnyc.gov. And the last thing I want to say is about our children. My wife and I have 3 little children. Okay. And for all of you out there who have children, to a degree, I mean, I'll let you be the judge of that. They're never too young for you to start to teach them about what's going on here. Yeah. They're never too young for you to teach them what a real American is. And an American wants full participation and full transparency of their government. And we've never been further away from that than we are now. These people are a disgrace. They are a disgrace to everything you and I believe in. But there is hope, and the hope is us and us fighting 100 days of resistance. 202-225-3121, idnyc.gov. You take your pick, whatever you want to do to stay involved, stay strong. God bless you all. God bless New York City. Thank you. It's time to get inspired. It's time to get inspired.
I'm going to go to the Russian consulate right now and take a piss. Really super, super strong one.
But before I do that, it's time to get inspired. I'm going to bring up one of the most inspirational New Yorkers I've ever met in my lifetime, the Reverend Al Sharpton. Thank you. Let me break in the comedy hour and let me say to people watching us around the world, this is Donald Trump's hometown. But the hometown folk do not behave like Donald Trump. Look tonight at thousands upon thousands of us, of different religions, different races, different sexual orientations, different genders, but we have not lost our minds. We come together in the town Donald Trump was born to say that we don't need to make America great. America is great when we respect each other and stand with each other and unite with each other and defend each other's rights and stop the harassment and oppression of each other. You might have missed it, Donald, but America's already been great, and we're gonna make it even greater. Tomorrow, as the mayor has said, who's leading us tonight, President Barack Obama will leave the White House. But we are going to make sure that health care doesn't leave with him. That's right. That LGBT rights doesn't leave with him. That rights of criminal justice reform doesn't leave with him. That rights of blacks and rights of Latinos and rights of immigrants and gender rights doesn't leave with him. Nobody donated us those rights. We fought for those rights, and we're going to keep those rights because we're going to keep on fighting. You want to register
You want to build walls? This is a country that does not make that happen, and we will not sit by and let it happen again. It amazes me that Mr. Trump got upset when someone said that they didn't respect him as a legitimate president after he campaigned for years calling President Obama not a legitimate American. Your politics started by trying to delegitimize the sitting president's nationality. And now you want to have a temper tantrum when people talk about voters were purged and there was, according to intelligence, influence from other nations. As you sit there tonight at the inaugural concert in Lincoln Memorial, you need to talk to President Lincoln, Mr. Trump. President Lincoln will tell you that slavery and oppression based on different races and different people is wrong. You need to talk to Lincoln while you're there tonight. And Lincoln will tell you that states' rights, whether it's on health care, on teachers, on education, is wrong. You need to talk to Mr. Lincoln tonight. There's some battles we won, and you can't reverse those battles. We're sending you a message from your hometown that you can try to turn back the clock, but you won't turn back time. We are not going backwards. That Bible and reads the Bible. Go to the New Testament. There's a story that I'll tell you as a Baptist preacher where Jesus talked about a man who was laying by the side of the road. He'd been wounded, he'd been robbed, and he laid there in desperate conditions. A man of his race walked by, looked at him and kept walking. Another one walked by that was of religious standing. He looked at him and kept walking. But another man came by and he reached and helped him. He didn't ask him what his race was. He didn't ask him what his gender was. He didn't ask him if he was transsexual. He didn't ask him what nation he was born in. He helped him. What makes a good Samaritan, Mr. Trump, and a good American is when we lift each other up rather than beat each other down. We come to lift the nation up tonight. So we say, they're saying that there was hackers that hacked all over the country during the election. Well, I made it easy. I brought my smartphone. Hack this tonight. We're going to love, not hate. Hack this tonight. We're going to stand united, not divided. Hack this tonight. There'll be 100 days of resistance. Hack this tonight. Voter rights won't stop. LGBT rights won't stop. We will not stop. We will not go back. You can hack a message and tell the world that the election is over, but the movement has just begun.
Al Sharpton! God bless you, sir. Our next speaker is the founder of the Muslim Democratic Club of New York City. Born and raised in Brooklyn, and she's here tonight because she's one of the main organizers of the Women's March on Washington, D.C. on Saturday. Please welcome Faiza Ali!
If the resistance looks anything like what's before me right now, I think New York City, we're gonna be all right. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. It's really an honor to be here with you all this evening. Standing before you is a 5'2.5" brown woman, inspired by my Islam to fight injustice, motivated by the legacy of civil rights heroes who showed us that radical change is possible, and driven by the values of a city that raised me to be bold, to have grit, and to be resilient. Like millions of Americans, I stayed up on election night and watched for 18 months Donald Trump use his campaign to wage a war on immigrants, blacks, the LGBTQ community, the disabled, Muslims, and women. Trump called for a ban on Muslims entering the country, surveillance and closure of mosques, and proposed a Muslim registry. This is not normal. On November 9th, Muslim kids and families across the country woke up to a president-elect, and you are also ready to stand with me and my people.
See you at the march. See you at the march. Marissa Tomei. Tomorrow, you know who will take an oath as President of the United States of America. But it is our responsibility to defend our common values as Americans. So, to lead us now in taking our oath, the same oath that he is taking, are community activists Rob Nanis, Farah Bala, and Tyler Thomas.
Raise your right hands. Raise them. And repeat after us. I do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully execute my role as an American. And will, to the best of my ability. Preserve, protect, and defend. The Constitution of the United States.
So share your oath and follow taketheoath.us online to take action. Our next speaker will talk about the urgent fight we must wage and win, the fight to protect health care for tens of millions of Americans. Please welcome Executive Director of District 37, Henry Garrido.
How you doing? You know, I'm from a union. In our union, we have a chant. And it goes a little like this. Who's got the power? We got the power. What kind of power? People power. Say it with me. Who's got the power? We got the power. Who's got the power? We got the power. We'll constantly be fighting to ensure that no one loses their health care in this era. Please help me welcome the First Lady, Shirley McRae. Give it up for her.
Citizens of America! I want to thank you all for being out here today, showing the world what democracy looks like. Now, I was in Washington, D.C. this week, talking to mayors and senators about mental health reform, mayors and senators from blue states and red states, and talking to them about how much progress we're just beginning to make with mental health, with Thrive NYC, and that is all because of the parity and equity we get from the Affordable Care Act. You can clap for that. 30 million Americans are on the verge of losing health care, vital health care, which includes our family members who suffer from mental illness and substance misuse. We're in the middle of an opioid epidemic. People, we can't let this happen. No! So I say, don't take away our ACA. 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 And you know the number to call. What is it? 202-225-2121. Very good, very good. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce a leader who embodies always NYC, siempre. She is a proud daughter of Puerto Rico, a proud supporter of working families, union families, immigrant families, all families. She's a badass feminist. And she is the first Latina speaker of our New York City Council. Welcome, Melissa Mark-Deverito.
Thank you so much, Chile. Buenas noches, Nueva York! I stand here as a proud member of the resistance. Are you with me? We're standing here today in Donald Trump's backyard to send one clear and loud message to the incoming administration. We will stand unidos, united, against your agenda of fear and hate. Just look around you. New York, we represent the very best of our country. We exemplify that diversity is what makes this nation great, not weak. We embody the principles of equality and inclusivity because that is who we are. And that's exactly why we will do everything in our power to defend this city and its ideals. You have my word. We're gonna stand up and fight back. Are you with me? From protecting women's reproductive rights to building more trust between our communities and the police, to ensuring immigrants continue to call New York City home, we will not stay silent. Are we gonna stand up and fight back? So let me be clear, because I want Washington, D.C. to hear me. We will not allow our immigrant communities to return into the shadows, because just today we saw a glimpse.
In 1951, my mother immigrated to this country from Scotland. I am first generation. Unless you are Native American, your family is also from somewhere else. We are a nation of immigrants. Every generational wave of new immigrants has faced discrimination. Tonight, we stand united with all immigrants. It is my honor to introduce a longtime resident of New York who came to the U.S. from Mexico when he was 7 years old and has been a fierce advocate for programs that President-elect is threatening to take away. He is a member of Make the Road New York that builds the power of Latino and working class communities to achieve dignity and justice through organizing, policy innovation, transformative education, and survival services. Please welcome Martin Batalla.
How are we doing tonight? All right, good evening. How you doing? It's cool, right? All right, my name is Martin Batalla. I'm a member leader of Make the Road New York. I'm also a proud member of the LGBT community. I came to the US at the age of 7, and since then I was documenting. Living in this country has not been easy for me. In high school, it was really challenging. Around graduation, I had no social security, which meant I couldn't work. I couldn't have education. I was not able to get financial aid or apply for scholarships.
Throughout our history, the labor movement has played a critical role in advancing the lives of American people. And tonight, that gives me hope. After all, it was everyday people who came together to fight injustices on the job site, to win the right to have a union, and to propel the growth of the middle class and expand prosperity in big cities and small towns across the country. The labor movement is the reason that we have an 8-hour workday. It's the reason why we have workers' protections. It's why workers got health benefits and why injured workers get aid. I am a proud union member and have been for 52 years. And today I am proud to see that union members are fighting to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour for all workers. But today, the right to organize, which is at the heart of the labor movement's ability to help the lives of so many Americans, is under threat. But if we all stick together like we are right now, if we fight for justice and dignity, I do believe an executive vice president of the 1.3 million member United Food and Commercial Workers International Union. He is vice president of the National AFL-CIO and currently serves as a vice president of New York State AFL-CIO. Stuart Applebaum.
Friends, sisters, and brothers, the president may change tomorrow, but our values will not. Any attempts to deny them. Too many immigrant workers, women, white workers, people of color feel trapped in an economy that fails them and only seems to reward those at the very top. We must bring working people together across their differences. We must help them understand their common interests. And we must stand ready to fight and organize and
Man, I need you. I need it tonight. Did you need this? Man, I need you to be with my brothers and sisters here that to know that there's hope in the world and that we have one another, right? We have each other. You heard of Standing Rock, right? Right, we came together there to protect something precious. From all over the United States, all walks of life. American Native people, black people, white people, people of color from all over, gay, lesbian people, people from everywhere, because we came together to protect something precious. Now we're coming here together tonight in this amazing city of New York to protect something precious to us, and that's each other. We're not protesters. We're people protectors. Martin Luther King, brother Martin Luther King, I love you. I know you're here with us tonight. Thank you for your wisdom and your leadership and showing us the peaceful way to move through the oppression that we're facing today. We think we have it bad today. It's nothing. They had it so much worse than we did, and they maintained through love and dignity and determination, and that's us today. Now he knew nothing could happen without love. He knew that the only thing that could drive back the darkness was the light. And we have a wonderful opportunity today to make it clear who we are as Americans and who the Democratic Party is. And what we were always meant to be as a Democratic Party. Somehow we lost our way somewhere along the way. Dr. Martin Luther King knew that without love, not a damn thing worth a damn could happen. And that's why we're destined to win this battle. Whether it's love for our Muslim brothers and sisters, the LGBTQ community, our workers, we gotta love our workers. They're struggling out there. Trump beat us on our own message. We love our workers in America. We stand up for them. We are the middle class. See you in America. So today, we move forward, not in protesting Trump, but in protecting our people, protecting our values, and recreating the Democratic Party as a party that's responsive to the people. To the needs of the people and not to the whims of Wall Street. Neoliberalism is dead. Progressivism is alive and well, and we're it. We're the people protectors. And this is heart work. That's the only way, folks. We need to protect our hearts. We need to lead from our hearts. We need to strengthen our hearts. Today marks the first day of the first 100 days of the resistance. Peaceful, loving resistance. Peaceful, loving resistance. Peaceful, loving resistance. We abhor violence. We reject it. If you want that, then get out. We are peaceful, and we'll only win through peace. Now, I'm a climate change activist. And so it's my great honor tonight to bring up a wonderful leader who's already been doing all of the action, already resisting. She is the ED of the amazing Greenpeace. And her name is Annie Leonard. I want you to give her a nice, heartfelt round of applause. Annie Leonard.
I woke up this morning in Washington, D.C. and walked to the train station there, and they cleared out the streets, and there was a silence and a sadness descending on that town. And so when I got out at the train station in New York, and I saw a joyful resistance filling the streets, it felt so good to be back. Yes! You know, New Yorkers know how to resist. And New Yorkers understand climate change. And you are living through it, and you are standing up together for solutions. And you are not alone. All around the world, cities and businesses and people are standing up for climate change because we know that it is real and it is the greatest threat humanity's ever faced. Yes, and we know that what climate change needs is leaders who are bold and courageous and smart and can understand bar graphs. And instead, we got Donald Trump. Donald Trump thinks that climate change is a hoax. And Donald Trump's nominee for the Environmental Protection Agency, Scott Pruitt, is skeptical about climate change. He's a hoax. And Donald Trump tried to approve pipelines through indigenous lands. We will resist. When you give the frackers a pass, we will resist. When you give the keys to our government to the biggest polluters in this land, we will resist. Now there are lots of kinds of resistance. There is angry resistance and joyful resistance. There's loud resistance and silent resistance. There's legal resistance and illegal resistance. And I promise you, Mr. Trump, you will see them all. But the one thing in common, you will see relentless resistance. We will resist with everything we have because what is at stake is everything we love.
Lock Trump up!
Hello, everybody. I'm Cynthia Nixon. I wish you could see what I see. I wish you could see how far this crowd goes back. And it is cold out here tonight, but I am so warmed by your passion. Thank you for being here. There was a night 5 years ago when I was with my wife and our 3 kids and our best friends, and we were waiting for the subway, and all of a sudden there started to be people talking and shouting. Same-sex marriage, it just passed. It passed. And it was something that we had been fighting for a long time, and we knew it was about to come, but that moment was so sweet. And then the train came, and we got on the train, and all those people in the car didn't know. And we told them, and people were, you know how that happens in New York sometimes, how everybody's on the same page, and everybody's excited, and you know what everybody else is thinking. And that victory in New York, it wasn't just a victory for lesbian and gay couples, it was a victory for all people who are committed to a fairer and more equal world. Now there tonight, we're here to stand up and say loudly and clearly, we are not going back. You are not turning us around. We are here, we are queer, and we have no fear. And to those of you in the crowd who are not queer, who are Muslim, who are African American, who are Latino, who are women, who are straight white males, we want to say to you, the LGBT community has got your back. And we know that you have got ours, and we love you for it. Because none of us are willing to go back to a time when we decided a person's worth based on their gender, on their skin color, on their religion, on their country of origin, on their sexual identity. We will not go back to a time when our nation did not recognize the marriage of brave Americans, Edie Windsor and Taya Spire. We will not go back to a time when hate and discrimination were a constant and sanctioned presence in the lives of millions of Americans. We stand here tonight just a few short miles from the Stonewall Inn. And the memory of what happened there in 1968, the struggle for liberation it sparked, is a reminder of where we've been and where we will never return to, no matter who is president. That night after marriage passed in New York, and I called my mom to talk to her about it and to tell her where we were when we heard the news, she listened to me. My mother was born in 1930. And she said, that's what it was like in 1945 when victory was declared. That's what it felt like. Something you've been working for so long and you feared would never happen. And then all of a sudden, one day it's there. And the way I felt that night is the way I feel when I look at this crowd tonight, and the way I'm gonna feel on Saturday at that march. I feel hopeful for the future. Yes, we've had a setback. It's a big setback. It's a setback like we've not seen in a long time. But we can see it as a setback, or we can see it as a challenge. And where there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. An opportunity to prove love, equality, and unity cannot beat. Love, equality, and unity can beat hatred and discrimination. Hillary Clinton didn't get everything right, but she said, we are stronger together, and boy, was she right about that. I know we can win if we say together, we are not going back. Say it with me, we are not not going back. We are not going back. And now, it is my privilege to introduce a true fighter for our working families, the President and CEO of the NAACP, Cornell William Brooks.
Good evening. It is great to be in the greatest city in the world at the beginning of one of the greatest movements in the world, here in New York City. I'm here as a guest of Martin Luther King's Union 1199 and George Gresham will become administrative policy. But we are yet saying that we will stand with the majority of Americans, that is women. We will stand against misogyny. We will stand against hate. We will stand against bigotry. We will stand against violence. We will stand up and be strong together. We have seen in the course of this campaign racism routinized, anti-Semitism normalized, xenophobia de-exceptionalized, and misogyny mainstream. But we yet say our love is stronger than hate. Our commitment to this country is greater than anything that can divide us. We will resist day in and day out until victory is won. We've seen in the course of this campaign the right to vote suppressed day in and day out. But may I remind you that the ballot box is not colored red, white, and blue, but literally colored with the blood, sweat, and tears of our people. And we understand that in the constellation of our civil rights, in the firmament of our freedoms, the right to vote shines like the North Star, and we will not allow that light to dim. We will not allow that light to darken. We will not allow that light to go out. We will stand and fight for the right to vote. We, the people, reserve the right to say to a Secretary of Labor, to say to management, to say to this administration, if you try to drag down wages, if you imperil the lives of working men and women, we reserve the right to say to you, you are fired. And if by chance you're tempted amidst the cacophony of disunity and dissension in this nation, if by chance you're tempted to be depressed by the silence of cynicism, may I remind you of a little hymn sung by millions of members of the NAACP with the words being these: lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on, let us march on, let us march on, let us march on. Victory is won!
How you doing, New York? Yes, it's Rosie Perez, aka OP, aka Brooklyn's own. All right, I just want to say it's cold as hell out here, and I want to thank you for staying. And I want to thank everybody way down Central Park West, and everybody way down Broadway, and way down 7th. There are thousands and thousands of people here tonight, and we appreciate it. All right, I want to acknowledge some of our women in Brooklyn. Miss Letitia James, I call her Tish. first Puerto Rican council speaker, Melissa Mark Viverito. Congress members Jerry Nadler, love that guy, Adriana Espaillat, Senator Brad Holyman, Assembly members Gottfried and De La Rosa, and council members Espinal and Rodriguez. We want to thank you because you showed up for us tonight. And please stick around because, oh my God, wait till y'all see who's gonna close the night. She's gonna be on fire. All right, and you know everybody, thanks for hitting us on social media. We are trending in the world. All right, I want to introduce this woman. I have to put, you know, I'm old now. Okay. I love y'all too, New York! All right. Maya Wiley is a nationally renowned expert on racial justice. She has litigated, lobbied the U.S. Congress, and developed programs to transform structural racism in the United States and in South Africa. Ms. Wiley is currently the Senior Vice President for Social Justice at the New School, as well as the chair of the New York City Civilian Complaint Review Board. Ooh, she's dope. All right. The Independent Oversight Agency for the city's police department. Please join me in welcome her as she speaks out about civil rights and criminal justice, Ms. Maya Wiley. All right, you fired up? Yeah. Ready to go? Yeah. Fired up? Yeah. We're fired up? Yeah. Mayor de Blasio asked us a question tonight. He asked, what do we stand for? And everyone's right. So we stand for what? Everyone's rights. When we started this process the day after the election, there were too many girls in this country who woke up and said,
Okay, check it. I was just told that there is between 20,000 and 25,000 New Yorkers here tonight. This is so exciting. I feel so honored to be here. You know, we were talking about this movement starting tomorrow. This movement already started. This movement started a long time ago and it's just gaining steam. Let's look at Standing Rock. How amazing was that movement? Is that movement? I want to talk about Standing Rock for just a quick second, because what they were able to accomplish is what we need to learn from, and what we need to apply to what's happening here tonight, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in DC, and what's going to happen in the next 4 years. The narrative surrounding us against them does not ever work. Violence does not work. Aggression does not work. Anger can be transmuted into fuel so that we can show up with passion, but that passion has to be grounded and rooted in compassion and love and prayer. Love is not a word to be forgotten in this movement. Love is not a word to be undermined. And the people of Standing Rock showed us that you can show up on the front line with your hands behind your back and your heart forward, with prayer and with love and with compassion, and you can win. They did it in North Dakota when no one was watching. They did it in North Dakota in 2 degrees, in -20 degrees. We can do that in New York City. We can do that across every state in America. So I feel very grateful for all of you who are showing up here tonight, because we can come up here and we can say these words, but the work is in the streets. The work is all of us, all of you, talking to one another, meeting 5, 10, 15 new people tonight. Network this crowd. Get to know one another. Build small organizations around your neighborhoods, your cities. Take what Michael Moore said every single day, part of our daily routine. Brush your teeth, wash your mouth, whatever, rinse your mouth, oil bowl, whatever you do, and call your senator, call your congressman. We are beyond the times of signing petitions. We are beyond the times of retweeting and re-Instagramming. We are in the time of showing up. and showing up with love. When we talk about winning, what are we trying to win? Are we trying to win as Democrats? Are we trying to win as Republicans? Are we trying to win as progressives? We're trying to win as human beings. And every human being needs love to survive. So let's be the bigger people who open our arms. And we don't have to agree, we don't have to understand, but we have to start communicating. And we have to start communicating with compassion and with love. Thank you so much for being here. Let's do this!
I'm an elitist libtard whose grandmother picked cotton, whose mother sang on bars when she was 8 years old during the Depression, and I myself, at some point, wore it's not accused by these people of being so many things, but I understand how the people were so desperate to pick this man. You know, this unbelievable narcissist who could change the face of our world if we let him. And the only thing that will save us is you. You know, the only thing that can save us is you. I mean, I'm not a rever. People have already been up that are revving you up. And I just want to tell you, I have lived through, I'm 70 years old, I've lived through 12 presidents. And never once did I dream that there would be one through arrogance and ignorance who could change our world, who could change the face of our world. And so I know that, you know, when I was young, Vietnam was happening, and nothing happened to stop it until we got into the streets. And I know you can stop this. I know you can stop this, because the power of the people is bigger than those assholes that are there in Washington. I tried not to have a potty mouth, but it's just me, okay? So you must never give up, because the thing that will help us, that will get us through this, is anger, because otherwise we'll be in sadness and depression. I was there the night with her when we lost, and I gave up, and I came upstairs and I took a shower and I took my makeup off, and then someone said, there are thousands of people marching down the street. So I went down with none of my fabulous shareness, and I got caught up, and it took me out of my depression, it took me out of my sadness, and I thought, look, these people have come now. It's happening now. We can change this now. So you can change this. I promise you, you can change this. And now it's my great honor and my great privilege to introduce to you someone that I respect, and that I just feel he is the one that is making us have the strength to come out here and do this. Mr. Michael Moore. Read this speech because I'm dyslexic.
Let's hear it for Cher! And the people of Flint, Michigan thank Cher and the people who've shown up there to help them with the fight against the governor for poisoning their water. So thank you, Cher, for that. Well, we've come to the end. We have a special musical guest for you here tonight. Man, this has been great. This has been great. Look at this crowd. I can't even see the end of this thing. Thank you, everyone who has come tonight. Mark Ruffalo and Fisher Stevens and myself, we put this together like a week ago, and had so much support from the mayor's office all these activist groups. The NYPD has been very helpful tonight. Thank you, NYPD. This final night of what anthropologists will call the pre-Trumpian age. It will be a short-lived age. But it will be significant, and they will be studied for centuries. This is our country. We love the people of this country. I love that pledge they did earlier, that we take our own oath of office as citizens of this country. Everybody, what are we going to do every day for just 2 to 3 minutes?
Right,
Call Congress, right? 202. 225. 3121.
3121.
Do it. Yes, and brush your teeth, yes. And if you have a dog, walk the dog. If you have a cat, stare back at it. Just while we're just tuning up here before our big musical finish, we're going to bring everybody up here for one final song. But we are standing here, in case you don't know this, in front of the Trump International Hotel. And we can hear you in there. But there's another special Trump building. It's called Trump Tower. The Golden Tower of Trump. I remember my mother used to visit here, my departed mother. She used to love coming here to New York City. Her sister lived on Staten Island. She left Flint back in the 1920s, married a Democrat on Staten Island. And so we used to come from Flint every summer to New York. We'd summer on Staten Island is what I tell people. They didn't know what it meant back in Flint. It just sounded like some exotic island. But my uncle went on, he was part of the Franklin Roosevelt Democratic Party and went on to be elected to state assemblyman from Staten Island as a Democrat. And we used to love coming here every year, love this city, love the people, feeling privileged to be able to spend as many months of the year as I get to spend here. I live in Michigan, but I love this place and I love the people here. And New York is going to be acting with a vengeance on its native son. So listen, for those of you who want to, we've cleared this with the police, who want to peacefully walk over to Trump Tower when we're done. Anybody up for that? So we ask that after the music, after it's over, that you either, I think they want you to depart right here on 62nd or any of the other streets way back there. You go over to Broadway and come down and go around Columbus Circle and go on 59th Street to 5th Avenue and then 5th Avenue for a couple blocks to Trump Tower. Peaceful, nonviolent, safe, big sidewalks. It's still a free city. It's still a free country. Barack Obama is still the president of the United States. The last time I checked, we're still in the Obama era. And we can peacefully walk over to Trump Tower. What do you think? Let's do it. But first, let's bring on one of the most incredible singers and musicians in this country. I have loved this woman since I first saw her as the lead singer of 10,000 Maniacs. She has such a great heart and a great soul. And she's here tonight to close us off this beautiful demonstration that's going to ignite inaugural weekend all across America. I'll be there on Saturday in DC. watching on live stream right now, show up! Show up on Saturday, and please, let's give a wonderful New York welcome to Natalie Merchant!
Thank you all, every single one of you. This is really an incredibly inspiring experience. I remember waking up November 9th and walking to my daughter's school and bursting into tears at the same time as the gym teacher. And Bill and I just held each other and wept. And it felt so much better to be experiencing that with another human being. It's isolation that was really, really defeating. But this, to see everyone here tonight and to not feel alone, it's been so inspiring and so important, and I'm sure you're feeling all the same experience. So I'm going to sing a song that I wrote during the dark days of the Bush administration. Bush 2.
I miss those days.
It's a song about greed, it's a song about avarice, it's a song about destruction of this country. Where in hell can you go? Far from the things that you know. Far from the sprawl of concrete that keeps crawling its way. About 1,000 miles a day. Take one last look behind. Commit thirst to memory tonight. But don't miss this wasteland, this terrible place when you leave. You keep your heart off your sleeve. Oh, motherland, cradle me, close my eyes, lullaby me to sleep. Keep me safe, lie with me, stay beside me, don't go. Don't you go. Oh, my 5 and dime queen, tell me what have you seen? The lust and the avarice, bottomless, cavernous greed. Is that what you see? Oh, motherland, cradle me, close my eyes, lullaby me to sleep. Keep me safe, lie with me, stay beside me, don't go. It's your happiness I want most of all, and for that I'd do anything I know. Oh, mercy me, if you want the best of it, and if you want the most of all. Now if there's anything I can do at all, now come on, shotgun bride. Faces, nameless, innocent, blameless, free. You tell me what that's like to be. Oh, motherland, cradle me, close my eyes, lullaby me
me to sleep. Keep me safe, lie with me, stay beside me, don't go. Don't you go. We're going to ask everybody to come up, all the survivors, especially Abigail and Lily Chapin, without their babies. Where'd your baby go? Well, there's still a baby. And their dad, Tom. Tom Chapin, Lily and Abigail Chapin, Eric De La Pena. Anybody else? Come on, Mark Ruffalo. Oh, we'll start and you'll join us? Okay, we want to thank Julia Walsh, of course, and Ramsey Adams, Mark Ruffalo, Fisher and Bruce for producing this event. This was thrown together pretty quickly by a really dedicated small band of people, and we want to thank them all. Mark, do you want to say some thank yous?
Thank you for coming. This is so beautiful. And the mayor's office does not want us to march, so we're not going to march, right?
All right, we're going to sing a song that I'm sure you all know. It's a simple song, but it seems to contain the most important sentiments that we hold dear in this country. This land is your land. This land is my land. This land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled and followed my footsteps to sparkling sands of verdant deserts, while all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. Everyone! This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Nobody can ever stop me as I go walking on Freedom Highway. Nobody living can make us turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Anyone? Come on, Mark. Mark Ruffalo.
Sing the one about the wall, Mark. Big high wall there. Great big sign that said private property. On the other side, it didn't say nothing. That sign was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Love this city. Get busy! You got 100 days!
Thank you all for coming. We'll see you Saturday. Now go home peacefully, and we'll see you Saturday for the march. Thanks a lot. Good night.